Hello, I'm Otto and welcome to episode 51 of my Factorio Space Age Guide. So in the last episode, we created we didn't create, we set up a quality upcycler for our productivity modules. It is not very active, and that's largely because we are having problems with productivity 2 modules. There were some issues on this planet with red science. I also need to get some better quality modules in here instead of just using the rank 1. That'll be something that hopefully I can do soon enough. Oh, we have a decent amount in here. Anyways, we also tore down our research labs over here and set up some bio labs using bots to bring in all of the materials that we need. And then afterwards, I doubled up on the sciences. I assume that I got them all correct. I didn't really pay attention to what I was doing. I just kind of slapped down extras, which is, you know what, a good sign if they are continuing to work, continuing to function. Okay, so we have overgrowth soil finished. So we are going to be heading back to Gleba. Actually, I think we're just going to do this remotely. I still have some things to do on Novice. So as for research, we definitely want to get the advanced soil processing and rocket turrets. That is the two things, those are the two things that we need to be able to unlock Aquilo science. And we are going to be going to Aquilo very soon. As a matter of fact, we're going to be going so soon that I'm going to go ahead and add a platform. I'm going to name that Aquilo Supplies, and I'm going to hopefully start to get some of that set up now so that we don't have to like wait for some of the supplies to show up. We're going to need to import some things though, so we're going to try to do that in this episode too. Anyways, back to Gleba. So we can now make overgrowth soil. And there's a few things that we need for this. One, we need water. So thankfully we have some water nearby. And this guy needs some more power. So we're also going to be requesting in a lot of biter eggs. We have 90, between the two, we have 90 biter eggs total. And we're going to be getting rid of a lot of the seeds for this as well. Seeds and spoilage. And if we look at, yeah, we have over 100,000 spoilage, which we will be getting rid of most of that soon. We have lots and lots of seeds. So, and then the other two artificial soils. So any seeds that we end up not using, we will keep a little bit of an overhead. We'll keep a little bit of stock on, but we are going to be burning off anything that we don't want because it is, oh boy, they are really clogging up our storage. So we definitely want to get some of those taken care of. Whoops. So anyways, as for the biter eggs, now once we get to the point where we don't need them anymore, I don't want them to stop flowing. I want them to continue to come here just in case we need more. And we're going to need them to kind of stay fresh anyways. So just kind of keeping on with the idea of Gleba, we're going to continue to have this stuff burn off. But we don't want it to just burn off just because. So if I set a requester chest and just tell it to bring in the biter eggs and then burn them off, that's not a good thing. I need a way to kind of limit how this is going to function. So we're going to do that with a combinator. If I can get my keybinds right. We're going to be using a decider combinator. So there's a couple of things that I want to have happen. One, I want this one to be active, but only under certain conditions. Those conditions are, we need to have biter eggs on the planet. So to kind of go along with that, we are going to need to pull some biter eggs out of this because we can't just read what's in here because that would destroy our kind of set requests. So we do have to bring them out. So I'm going to limit this to biter eggs. So all the biter eggs that we have coming in can just go into there, and then this doesn't mess with our kind of circuit network to request in the things that we don't have. So this will be part of that. And then I'm going to connect this with a green signal and daisy chain it over to the back of the decider combinator. So I want this to activate if we have biter eggs, but I don't want it to activate if we have biter eggs over here. So I am going to connect both of the requester chests. There's a couple of other things we're going to do too. I'm going to connect the requester chest to the provider that it is responsible for. Because instead of having this activate and deactivate, I don't want those to handle what's going on. I want the requester chest to handle what's going on. Actually, we can just disconnect these. So I'm also going to connect these two together, and they are going to be connected to the back of the decider combinator as well. So I want to determine whether or not they are working. So we can read working, and we can have a signal of our choosing. I'm just going to use W. It just kind of lines up. I don't know why they didn't have this naturally be that anyways, but whatever, it is what it is. So if you are working, I don't want this to be requesting in. So the way that we're going to set that up is if W enable if W is less than 1. So because they are not working, W is less than 1. If W was 1, it would not be less than 1. So if one of these was active, this would not be accurate. And if both of them were working, this would also not be accurate. I'm going to add an AND condition because I want to determine in these, I want to read contents. If we have too many biter eggs than what we can handle. Sorry, if we have more biter eggs than the recipe calls for, then we can probably assume if the machines are not working, that now we're full, right? So they require 10. So I can say if biter eggs specifically on the red network are greater than 20, you can activate and output this check signal. But I also want to determine if we have any eggs at all. So if we have eggs, period, on the green signal, I also want you to activate. So we're going to have a separate biter egg signal, and we're going to say if activate if less than 1. No, greater. Yes. So now this is going to activate if we, no, that's not what I want. Let's just say greater than 0. So if we have any biter eggs over here, I also want you to activate. So now, if we have biter eggs here at all, and we have 20 or more here, and these aren't working, then that's a pretty good signal that we are done making what we want to make. So I'm going to daisy chain this into the requester chest until the requester chest enable if check mark is greater than 0. So once all of these conditions are true, we have biter eggs in our little storage container. We have more biter eggs than what the recipe calls for. Because there's going to be situations, like once we start requesting in biter eggs, there's going to be like 90 between the two of these. So this will enable even if these are actively good to go. But if they are actively good to go, then this is not. So you kind of see what's going on here, right? The machines have to not be working, and we have to have more than the recipe calls for combined. And we have to have extra biters on the planet. So if all these conditions are met, then we can activate this. So what will end up happening is once we get biter eggs, they will show up here. 500 will come in here. This will go, oh, hey, there's more than 0. Activate. But the thing is we don't have more here. Once we get up to 20, let's say, if these get up to 20, these will have activated. So that prevents any excess biter eggs from being destroyed here. And now we can just request in 100 biter eggs. Disabled by control behavior. Okay. Man, that was quite a lot of stuff just to control biter eggs. And if we did have some over here, let's say less than 20, I'm okay with them just being hatched because these have a lot of distance, so they will be able to cover that. And I'm fine with 20 being, you know, hatching every now and then, or I think they just hatch a couple at a time. Okay, anyways. Did I disable? I did. So we have, oh, this is going to be a very, very slow process. So before we get to the point where we can actually start using the overgrowth soil. No, you know what? Let's do it. Even 25 will get us a couple of plots. Get all of these additional plots that we can use. Okay, so that'll at least get us started. Whoops, I did not mean to leave Gleba. Alright, so I want to now make sure that all of this can get beefed up. This is going to have to be removed, unfortunately. Okay, so now all of these will be allowed to continue down. Actually, we probably could just, some of these could probably just go away. And then at the end of the line, we kind of need a way to burn these off. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to do something that, you know, we would probably just take a lot of these. And just kind of stamp them down. However much we need, that is all we want. Okay, so we would then take this guy, which I did make my own blueprint for, and we would set this up in a way that it could just be allowed. And we could add on to this if we had to, but this would be basically the end of the line. And then whatever we had coming through. So this would be the spoilage here. Why do we not have heating towers? Wait, really? Oh, because we were making them here. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to plug these in. I don't really care at this point. Okay, so this is going to be for the... Okay, so the mash and stuff is actually going to be here. So we did need this to come through. It was this, the bioflux, that we did not need to come through. I missed it again. No, I really did not. Really? Whatever. Easy fix. You think that I would have learned the first time, but whatever. Okay, and that is our solution to Gleba. We just need to give it some water. Did I still have water coming in? I did. There. And that is how we're going to deal with the end of Gleba. And honestly, if it even was like worse than this, like let's say we had all of this spoilage, then that's fine. We can have like a single heating tower down here. And one inserter that is filtered for only spoilage. Yeah, go gadget heating towers. We need boilers. Okay, so let's take a look at our supply ship. So in the next episode, we're going to be doing a lot more building, and I don't know if you can guess what it's going to look like, but yeah, you probably guessed right. It is going to look like a giant rectangle. Why? Because that is just how I roll. So I know that I'm going to need at least 2,000. Right, I'm going to need at least 3,000. So I'm just going to go ahead and get it all in here. I also want to just request in. I'm also going to have... Okay, hold on. We are going to need some extra things. So I need our supply ship to start collecting things. I need stack inserters from Gleba. As a matter of fact, if we have not already started, I need more. Oh yeah. Don't know how that happened, but whatever. So that can be wide open. We're going to need foundries. And all of this is going to have to be collected on Novice. So what do we have here? We have regular foundries. I am going to request in better ones. Like, honestly, at this point, the better you can get, then the better off we'll be. I had some Volcanus issues, so... Or sorry, have some Volcanus issues. We're kind of struggling a little bit on... Oh, are we out? Oh, I'm going to have to solve that. Yeah, once I turned on the upcyclers, it really started draining our supplies. Oh, I have 90 epic. That is sick. Nice. And this is the power of the upcyclers. Oh, I added in some chemical plants too, so we definitely want good quality chemical plants. I didn't add this that long ago, so I'm kind of surprised that there's 52 already. That's impressive. Oof, nice. Yeah, the first quality modules that you get, you definitely want to have go into the quality module upcyclers. That is going to greatly increase the amount of stuff that you have coming through. Also, I increased the quality on the crafters. I don't know if I have any of these yet. I do. 5? Perfect. Okay, that's good enough for me for now. Okay, so we need to get in some foundries. We need to get in some quality chemical plants. We need to get in quality inserters, and I'm going to change these to epic. So I'm going to do some of that after the end of the episode. I'm going to just, even if I have to go there and grab it myself and manually put it in that rocket, I'm going to have all the ingredients that we need. I'm going to have the best quality that we can get on this ship. So that includes the thrusters, that includes the storage, that includes the asteroid collectors and the crushers. All of these. We are going to have nuclear, and we're going to have 2 nuclear. We need better quality chemical plants. We are not going to be using electric furnaces. We are, however, going to be using assembling machines, so I do need some more of those too. We're using foundries instead. I need the best inserters that we can get our hands on, which obviously we have lots of those. And if possible, I would like some better solar panels and maybe accumulators if we have. I know we have accumulators. I do not have any quality for a lot of this stuff. Also, we're going to do this on novice real quick. Ooh, that is so... I love seeing that because that is not a supply issue. Wait, what? Staggering. I don't even want to look. So the last thing that we're going to need is... Ah, not enough room. Come on. We need rocket launchers. We just learned to make some rocket launchers. So yes, we need to... Sorry, rocket turrets, not rocket launchers. So we're going to make some of these, and we're going to need quite a few. I did not put quality in for any of these. RIP. Oh, okay. I'm going to have to make them on Gleba. Nope, I'm just going to import the carbon. Yeah, I would rather have this being made here. We are not making any of the... Oh, that reminds me, we're going to have to... We're going to have to constantly check in on this because I need a lot more Yumako mash because we are not making any plastic still. But that's okay. It'll get there. Anyways. Rockets. Get some carbon fiber. Yeah, we'll just import it. That's fine. Okay, so that is going to be it for me for this episode. If you've been enjoying my content, well, you know what to do. In the next episode, we are going to be, like I said, we are going to be building a new ship to take us to Aquilo. And that's probably going to take up the majority of the episode. You know, I'm going to be reusing a ship that I made after Space Age came out. I am still happy with it. It functions. Like I said, it's a big rectangle. What can I say? It's going to be very similar to the ones we have. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be it for me for this episode. And I will see you in the next one. And thanks for watching.